In every corner of the city, there are secrets, stories that hide in plain sight, waiting in the shadows, waiting for someone brave enough to witness them. And tonight, we step into that darkness once again. Welcome to Dynamic Dark. Welcome to a brand new horror experience. Welcome to episode 50. I'm Aditya, and tonight, I bring you 3 terrifying, completely new creepypasta stories, each stranger, darker, and more unnerving than the last. Fresh tales. Fresh week. Fresh nightmares. If you are new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you dare to face what comes next. Tonight's stories blur the line between reality and the unknown. Each one a descent into urban darkness and modern horror. Today's first story, The Lantern in the Mist. Today's second story, The Ghostly Corridor. And today's final story, The Hollow Door. If you crave horror that blends supernatural chills with suspenseful tension and psychological dread, you are exactly where you need to be. Because this is Dynamic Dark. For the best experience, put on your earphones, turn off the lights, and let the shadows, suspense, and fear consume you. Now let's begin with our first story, The Lantern in the Mist. On a foggy rural road, far from the warmth and lights of any village, Samir walks alone. Villagers often whisper about this road, about the wandering black mist that moves without reason, creeping through the trees and clinging to the earth like it has a life of its own. Those who have seen it speak of shadows that linger too long, and whispers that call your name, echoing in the silence of the night. The air is damp and cold, carrying the faint, metallic scent of something rusted and old. Each step Samir takes presses against the thickening fog. It curls around his legs, brushing his arms, seeming to test him, to measure his courage. The trees on either side lean inward, their twisted branches creating shapes that seem almost human, figures frozen between the world of reality and a dark imagination. The road stretches ahead, twisting gently, disappearing into the dense mist. With every footfall, Samir hears faint whispers, soft at first, almost mistaken for the wind. But then the whispers grow clearer, forming syllables that echo his name. A chill runs down his spine, and he shivers involuntarily. He glances around, but the fog is dense, swallowing the path, making even familiar trees appear alien and threatening. Then, faintly ahead, a small light flickers. A lantern, swinging gently, floating as if carried by some unseen hand. Its glow cuts weakly through the darkness, creating shadows that dance along the edges of the road. And in those shadows, Samir notices movement, dark forms, taller than humans, almost humanoid, their shapes shifting with the fog, their hollow eyes watching him silently. Despite the fear clawing at his chest, curiosity urges him forward. He takes cautious steps, heart pounding, feeling the mist wrap tighter around him. Every step seems heavier, and the whispers grow louder, repeating not just his name but his unspoken fears. The fog seems alive, twisting, bending, and flowing like water around the road. Samir realizes that the lantern is leading him somewhere deeper into the fog, farther from safety. The air grows colder, heavier, as if each breath is drawn through invisible hands. Shapes flicker in the corners of his vision, fleeting glimpses of figures that vanish when he tries to focus on them. The road behind him seems to disappear, swallowed by the mist, leaving only the path ahead and the shadowy forms moving closer. And then, as the lantern flickers once more, Samir sees it, a figure standing taller than anyone he has ever seen, black as the void itself, its hollow eyes fixed directly on him. For a moment, time seems to slow. The whispers crescendo, mingling with the rustling of the trees and the distant sound of something moving in the fog. Sameer's journey into the unknown has begun. The road ahead is uncertain. The mist is waiting. The shadows are patient. And the night is far from over. Sameer walks slowly along the foggy road, his steps soft against the damp earth. The mist curls around him, thick and cold, brushing against his legs and arms. The night is quiet, almost too quiet, with only the faint rustle of leaves in the breeze breaking the silence. Ahead, a flickering lantern appears. Its dim light cuts through the dense fog, small yet steady, guiding him forward. Sameer pauses for a moment, staring at it, unsure whether it is real or just a trick of the mist. As he moves closer, the lantern seems to sway gently, almost as if it is leading him somewhere. Then he notices them, dark, shadowy figures hidden within the fog. Humanoid in shape, silent and still, with hollow eyes that seem to follow him wherever he moves. They do not approach quickly, but their presence is unmistakable, making his heart pound. The whispers begin softly, faint at first, almost like the wind moving through the trees. Gradually, the whispers become clearer, forming fragments of his name and words he cannot understand. Sameer turns, trying to locate the source, but the mist seems to carry the voices from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. The air feels heavier, colder, and the fog seems to press against him more insistently with every step. The lantern swings slightly as he walks, illuminating patches of the mist where the shadowy figures linger. They move subtly, keeping pace, always watching but never closing in. Sameer feels a mix of fear and curiosity, a pull toward the light, even as instinct screams for him to turn back. The road behind him is swallowed by the mist. Only the faint glow of the lantern and the dark silhouettes around it remain. Sameer notices the figures are not hostile yet. They are observers, patient and silent, waiting to see what he will do next. The whispers rise and fall softly, echoing through the fog and heightening the tension. He takes another cautious step forward. The cold mist brushes against his face and hands, swirling around his body. The lantern remains just ahead, its light faint but unwavering, and the shadowy figures remain in their positions, keeping watch. Sameer realizes that this first encounter with the mist and its watchers is only the beginning. The night is long, and the path ahead is uncertain. Sameer takes a careful step forward, his eyes fixed on the flickering lantern ahead. The black shadows remain at the edges of the mist, silent but unyielding, their hollow eyes following his every move. The whispers float softly through the fog, faint at first, but growing clearer with every step he takes. They speak fragments of his name, echoing his unspoken fears in a voice that is not his own. The fog curls around him, thickening as he moves. It brushes against his legs and arms like a cold, invisible hand, and every movement feels slower, heavier, as if the mist itself resists him. He notices small motions in the shadows, figures shifting slightly, always observing, always patient. Despite their stillness, there is an undeniable presence, a silent tension that presses in from all sides. Sameer's heart pounds as he walks closer to the lantern. The faint light reveals glimpses of the surrounding road and trees, their branches casting soft, natural shadows. In these patches of light, he sees the black figures more clearly, humanoid in shape, dark and still, yet unnerving in their quiet vigilance. They do not move toward him, but their awareness is palpable, making the night feel alive. The whispers grow more insistent, threading through the fog and winding around his mind. Every step forward brings a new sensation, the mist curling tighter around him, the shadows holding their positions just out of reach, and the lantern flickering gently as if urging him onward. Samir feels a pull toward the light, even as instinct urges him to turn back. He pauses for a moment, listening. The whispers ebb and flow, soft but persistent, repeating his fears, his doubts, his name. The shadows remain silent observers, their hollow eyes never leaving him. The fog shifts subtly with each breath he takes, creating fleeting shapes that vanish as quickly as they appear. Every instinct tells him that something is waiting ahead, just beyond the lantern's faint glow. Samir steps forward again, cautiously, drawn by curiosity and fear alike. The road behind him has disappeared into the thick mist, leaving only the path ahead. The lantern's glow is steady but small, highlighting patches of the fog where the shadows linger. The tension in the air is almost tangible, pressing against him, urging him to either run or continue. With each step, the whispers become a haunting melody in the silence, and the black figures maintain their watchful vigil. Samir realizes that this rising tension is just the beginning. The mist, the lantern, and the silent shadows are all connected in some way, and he is only now stepping fully into the unknown. Every step forward carries weight, every sound is amplified in the quiet, and the night stretches endlessly around him. The encounter has escalated, and Samir knows, deep down, that the first real test of courage and endurance is only beginning. The shadows, the mist, and the lantern await his next move. Samir's heart races as he quickens his pace, trying to put distance between himself and the dark shapes lurking in the fog. But the mist seems alive, curling around him, shifting like a living wall that blocks every escape route. Every step forward feels heavier, the air colder, and the fog denser, as if it resists his movement. The black ghostly forms become clearer now, emerging slowly from the mist. They are humanoid in shape, silent and still, but their hollow eyes seem to pierce through him. They do not move aggressively, yet their presence is menacing, pressing in from every side. Samir realizes that the shadows are not just observing anymore, they are surrounding him, shaping the path and the fog to trap him within. He glances at the lantern ahead, but its dim light flickers and then vanishes completely. Darkness engulfs the clearing, leaving only the black figures and the thick, shifting mist. The whispers that followed him before rise again, soft at first, then louder, echoing fragments of his name and fears. The fog swirls tighter around his legs, brushing against him like cold, invisible hands, each movement reminding him that the path back no longer exists. Samir's breaths come fast, shallow, as he steps cautiously, looking for a way out. The black figures seem to move subtly with each of his steps, adjusting their positions silently, keeping him contained. The mist thickens further, curling around the trees and road, hiding any familiar landmarks and making it impossible to tell which direction is forward. Every instinct screams to run, but the fog's shifting walls make the road ahead uncertain. The whispers grow in intensity, surrounding him, threading through his mind, repeating his fears with a chilling clarity. Samir takes a slow, deliberate step, realizing that every movement forward brings him deeper into the trap, yet standing still is no safer. The lantern's light is gone, and the clearing ahead is obscured by thick mist. The black figures remain at the edges, patient and silent, yet threatening in their stillness. The fog coils tightly around his legs and torso, and each step feels like walking through water. The whispers now seem almost like a conversation, addressing him directly, testing his courage and resolve. Samir notices subtle movements in the shadows, figures shifting closer, aligning with the mist, forming a perimeter around him. He understands, with rising dread, that the fog and the black forms are not random. They are coordinated, deliberate, and he is at the center of their attention. Every step he takes is measured by the mist and the figures, guiding him into the unknown, leaving him with no choice but to face whatever waits in the darkness. The night feels endless. The road behind him is lost, the lantern gone, and the black figures continue their silent vigil. Samir's fear grows, but so does his determination. He knows that escape is only possible if he keeps moving, if he understands the rhythm of the mist and the shadows. The trap has closed, and the night has him firmly in its grip. Samir stands frozen, his breath trembling in the cold air as the fog thickens around him like a tightening noose. He had hoped the black shadows would keep their distance, but now they drift closer, slow and silent, their hollow eyes fixed directly on him. There is no hostility in their movement, and somehow, that makes them even more terrifying. They circle him not like predators, but like observers, studying him, measuring him, as if deciding what to do next. The whispers that once echoed faintly now twist into soft, unsettling laughter, not loud, not mocking, just a quiet, breathy sound that brushes against his ears, impossible to locate. Samir spins to find the source, but the fog swallows everything. The laughter fades, only to return behind him, then beside him, then inside the mist itself. Each time it shifts, his heartbeat spikes a little more. The forest around him begins changing in ways he cannot explain. The trees tall, motionless a few minutes ago, seem to lean slightly toward him. Their branches creak, their trunks bend as if trying to get a clearer view of the trapped man. Roots slither across the road like slow-moving snakes, crawling over each other, weaving into shapes that look almost intentional. Samir steps back instinctively, but the fog pushes against him, guiding him deeper into the shifting forest. Every direction he looks, something moves. A shadow glides behind a tree. A pair of hollow eyes glows faintly from a bush. A dark figure stands at the very edge of his vision, unmoving yet undeniably present. Nothing jumps out. Nothing attacks. Nothing speaks. But everything watches. Samir realizes the forest is no longer a forest. It feels like an ancient, living thing that has awakened after years of silence, and he has wandered straight into the heart of it. The ground beneath him vibrates softly, not enough to shake him, but enough to let him know that whatever surrounds him is aware of every breath he takes. The wind stops completely. The night feels unnaturally still, as though the entire world is holding its breath to witness what happens next. The black spirits close in a little more. Still drifting. Still silent. Their presence forms a ring around him, not fully blocking him, but leaving no true escape. Their faces remain empty and expressionless, yet their hollow eyes seem to hold a strange hunger. Not for flesh. Not for blood. For something deeper. Something Samir cannot name. The laughter fades again, replaced by a dreadful quiet. Samir waits. The spirits wait. The forest waits. And in that unbearable silence, a thought hits him with the force of a punch. He may not leave this place alive. Not because something will kill him, but because this fog-shrouded world may never let him go. The fog around Samir deepens, turning from pale grey to an almost ink-like darkness. It swallows the path behind him completely, erasing the road he came from as though it never existed. The air grows colder. The silence thickens. Even the forest seems to hold still, waiting for something or someone. Samir takes a cautious step back, but the fog tightens instantly, pressing in from all sides. It no longer feels like mist, it feels like a boundary. A wall. A warning. Then, through the suffocating quiet, a whisper cuts the air. Softer than breath. Closer than a voice should ever be. You belong here now. Samir freezes. His pulse thunders in his ears. He tries to look around, but the darkness presses against his vision, giving him only quick glimpses of movement, shadows gliding through the fog like silent watchers. One of the black shapes near him begins to shift. Not lunging, not grabbing, just stretching. Its shadow lengthens unnaturally across the fog-covered ground, reaching toward his feet like an invitation. Or a claim. Samir steps back instinctively, but there is nowhere left to go. Then, without warning, a faint glow appears ahead. The lantern. The same lantern he saw before. The same light that vanished moments ago. It flickers weakly in the distance, struggling against the heavy darkness. But as the flame steadies for a moment, it illuminates what the fog had been hiding. Eyes. Hundreds of hollow, pale eyes. Some close, some deep in the fog, some impossibly high in the trees. All of them open. All of them watching him. They do not blink. They do not shift. They simply stare, silently waiting. Samir's breath trembles as he feels the weight of the forest, the mist, and the unseen presence behind every shadow. The lantern flickers again, then steadies, casting a dim circle of light around him. For a second, the whispers fall quiet. And then, they return. Not one voice. Not two. Dozens. Hundreds. Some near, some far, some almost inside his own head. A chorus of faint, chilling murmurs that seem to echo from every direction at once. The fog closes in one final time, swallowing the edges of the scene, leaving only Samir, the dim lantern, and the countless hollow eyes staring from the mist. And as the screen fades to darkness, the last whisper lingers. The road remembers those who enter and follows those who leave. The silence that follows is heavy, unnatural, leaving the sense that whatever hunted Samir is still out there. Watching. Waiting. Ready for the next soul who dares to walk this fog-covered road again. Tonight's second story, The Ghostly Corridor. It was 2:15 a.m., the hour when the hospital felt less like a place for healing and more like a silent, breathing creature. The wards were calm, the emergency buzzers finally quiet. Only the faint buzzing of the old fluorescent lights echoed through the hallway. But this hospital kept a secret, a corridor that appeared only at night, one that vanished completely before sunrise. Staff refused to speak about it. They claimed that whatever walked there never left footprints like humans do. Patients whispered their own versions of the truth. They said that between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., the temperature in that wing drops for a few seconds, not like cold air from an AC, but like something breathing icy air onto your neck. Some swore they saw a pale, white figure floating just above their beds, unmoving, unblinking, watching. Nurses reported seeing silhouettes glide silently across the hallway, shadows that weren't cast by anything living. Most people stayed silent, pretending it was nothing. But Neha, a young intern, curious, fearless, maybe a little too fearless, wanted to know the truth. She'd heard the warnings. Don't go near that wing during night shift. Don't follow any corridor that wasn't there during the day. But Neha believed these were just exaggerated hospital myths. Tonight, during her break, she noticed something strange. The lights began blinking, almost as if someone had brushed their hand across them. And then she saw it, the restricted corridor, the one that shouldn't exist. The one that never appears in the morning. Yet here it was, quite dark, waiting. The tiles beneath her shoes felt strangely cold, the air thick with the smell of old antiseptic mixed with something metallic, almost like dried blood. Neha tightened her grip on her flashlight, took a slow breath, and without telling anyone, she stepped into the ghostly corridor. As Neha moves deeper into the silent corridor, the air becomes colder, unnaturally cold, like someone has opened a door to a freezer. She slows down. Her footsteps echo lightly, but something else echoes with them, a soft, breathy whisper, her name. Neha. She stops. Looks behind. No one. But the shadows on the walls begin to shift. They are moving, not like shadows should move. They twist, stretch long across the tiles, bending at impossible angles, sliding over doors and equipment like they're alive. Neha blinks hard. For a moment, the hallway seems normal again, empty, quiet. Then she sees it. A pale figure at the far end, a white apparition, faceless, still, flickering like a dying light. She tries to focus on it, but the moment she looks directly, it disappears. Just gone. Neha's heartbeat quickens. The whispers return, a little louder this time, coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. The walls feel closer. The lights above her buzz faintly, flickering in a slow, unsettling rhythm. She tries to steady her breath. But every time she turns her head, she catches a glimpse of another white figure at the corner of her vision. Hovering, shifting, watching. And the corridor ahead of her suddenly feels endless, like it's growing longer with every step. Neha realizes she is no longer walking in a place she knows. Something else, someone else, is guiding her deeper. The corridor seems to breathe around Neha. The walls, once solid and lifeless, now appear almost alive, as if they are leaning in, whispering. Faint, unintelligible murmurs drift through the air, brushing against her ears, echoing her deepest fears. Her steps falter. Something shifts in the shadows. She glances down and freezes. Thin, black hands, shadowy, faceless, stretch from the walls and floor, reaching for her feet, fingers curling like they are trying to pull her in. The temperature drops sharply. A cold, unseen force brushes past her arms, guiding her forward despite herself. Every instinct screams to turn back, but the corridor seems to have its own will, bending reality to trap her inside. The flickering lights above cast long, stretching shadows that twist with every step. The whispers grow louder, sharper, echoing not just around her, but inside her own mind. Neha's heart pounds. She's no longer walking in a hallway she knows, the corridor itself is alive, watching, deciding where she can go and where she cannot. She takes a hesitant step forward, pulled by the unseen force, deeper into the ghostly corridor, feeling the shadows tighten around her, ever closer, ever waiting. Every step Neha takes feels heavier than the last, as if the corridor itself is pressing down on her. Her own heartbeat echoes loudly, mingling with whispers she cannot fully understand, soft, broken, unintelligible words that seem to crawl along her nerves. The walls appear to stretch and twist, bending the corridor into impossible angels. What looked like a short hallway before now seems endless, each step pulling her further into its darkness. The black shadows she glimpsed before are no longer just shapes on the walls. They grow denser, stretching, curling, and sliding closer, as if testing the space around her. Occasionally, thin, shadowy hands slide silently from the walls and floor, reaching just past her feet, never touching, but close enough to make her skin crawl. Above, the faceless white apparitions float silently, hovering over empty spaces and doorways. Their presence is calm yet suffocating, like invisible eyes following her every movement. They drift just beyond her focus, flickering in and out of sight, watching without expression. Neha's breath hitches. She feels the corridor pulling her forward. Every instinct screams to turn back, yet something unseen seems to guide her steps deeper toward the unknown. And in that moment, she realizes the corridor is no longer just a hallway, it is alive, aware, and she is its prey. Neha freezes. Something is wrong. She had just walked down this corridor a minute ago, but when she tries to turn back, the entire hallway seems longer, as if someone stretched it like rubber. The lights flicker once, twice, then hum softly, casting a pale, sickly glow. She takes a slow step backward, and the floor creaks, almost like it's breathing beneath her feet. Neha whispers to herself, ye corridor itna lamba kab se tha? But her voice echoes strangely, as though the walls are repeating her words, mocking her. The light at the far end buzzes again. And that's when she sees it. Something moves. Not a person. Not an animal. Just a patch of darkness sliding across the wall, slowly, deliberately. At first it looks like a shadow cast by something outside. But there is no source, no figure, no object. Just darkness. Neha steps back. Her heartbeat jumps. Then another shadow appears. This one spreads along the floor, like a pool of ink leaking from invisible cracks. Then another. And another. Within seconds, the walls, ceiling, and floor come alive. Black shadows crawling everywhere, moving in slow, insect-like motions. They stretch, merge, and twist, until they begin forming humanoid shapes, tall and horribly thin, their bodies bending in unnatural angels. Neha gasps, covering her mouth. Her breath fogs in front of her. The corridor has suddenly become cold, freezing cold. She hears it next. A faint, distant laugh. Not loud. Not sharp. But soft, broken, like someone laughing through water. And underneath it, a whisper. Then two. Then dozens. They layer over one another, like a crowd speaking in a language she can't understand. Some whispers feel like they're coming from behind her. Some from above. Some from inside her ears. Her eyes widen. Her hands tremble. She tries to run, but when she looks back, the corridor behind her now looks exactly the same as the corridor in front. Left, right, forward, backward. Everything is identical. A perfect trap. Neha spins around, desperately searching for a door, a sign, a window, anything. Nothing. All she sees are the shadows slowly stepping out of the walls, their bodies dripping darkness like liquid tar. The laughter grows louder. The whispers rise higher. The shadows begin circling her, inch by inch. Neha clutches her pendant, praying under her breath. Please, mujhe yahan se nikal do. But the corridor listens. And laughs. One shadow leans closer, its face blank, its head tilting in a slow, jerky motion. Another crawls along the ceiling directly above her, bending its limbs like a spider. A third stands behind her, its shape tall and stretched like a person being pulled by invisible hands. Neha's breath becomes sharp, rapid, panicked. Her vision blurs. The shadows whisper in unison, just one word. Stay. Neha stumbles back until her shoulder hits the cold wall. She tries to run again, but no matter where she goes, the hallway keeps extending. Every step forward adds 20 more feet. Every step backward adds another 20. She realizes the terrible truth. There is no exit. No escape. This corridor is alive. It is watching her, playing with her, and slowly closing in. Her final thought. Maybe this place doesn't want me to leave at all. As the shadows reach out their long, distorted arms toward her. The lights flicker one last time. And then, everything goes dark. The corridor vanishes in a blink, leaving Neha standing in a normal hospital hallway. But the coldness on her skin stays. That night, as she tries to sleep, she hears the same whisper again, soft, close, calling her name. Neha, come back. A shadow in the corner of her room shifts slightly, as if the corridor has followed her home and is waiting to open again. Today's final story, The Hollow Door. In an abandoned countryside mansion, a small unmarked door appears overnight. Ravi opens it and feels the air heavy with whispers, shadows stretching, watching him silently. As Ravi steps inside, the room feels alive. The walls subtly shift and contract, stretching the space unnaturally. Shadows crawl along the corners, dark and silent. From the edges, faceless black figures begin emerging, slowly observing him. He glances back, the door he entered through seems to vanish into darkness, leaving him trapped in the room's oppressive, whispering shadows. The room seems alive. Cracks on the floor twist and writhe, like the house itself is breathing. Shadows stretch and elongate toward Ravi, whispering his deepest fears in soft, chilling tones. Every step he takes, the door shifts, reappearing larger, closer, and impossibly more menacing. The air grows heavier, the room darker, and a suffocating sense of being watched presses in from all sides. Ravi realizes he may not escape, not yet. The shadows shift, forming tall, humanoid shapes that move silently toward Ravi. The air grows icy, and the soft whispers he first heard now twist into airy, hollow laughter. Every step feels heavier, as if the room itself is constricting around him. Black faceless spirits glide along the walls, the floor, and ceiling, their gaze fixed on him. Escape feels impossible, the mansion, the room, the shadows, they are all closing in. Ravi spins toward the door, but it's vanished. The shadows swirl and writhe around him, their hollow, faceless eyes locked onto his every move. Whispers grow louder, repeating his deepest fears in distorted, echoing tones. The mansion feels alive, walls shifting, floors twisting, rooms reshaping themselves. Every step he takes, the darkness tightens, suffocating him. Escape seems impossible, he is trapped in a place that refuses to let go, where fear itself is a living presence. At dawn, the hollow door reappears, but the black shadows linger, watching Ravi. No matter where he goes, the door and its spirits will find him again. That was the end of episode 50 of Dynamic Dark. If you enjoyed these terrifying stories, make sure to comment below which story scared you the most. The best comment will be pinned by me, Aditya. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable notifications bell if you dare to see what comes next. And share with your friends and family too. Or you can suggest a topic for the next episode. Like a foreign urban legend, haunted place, or any other creepy horror story. The suggestion with the most likes might be featured in the next episode. Until then, keep listening to terrifying stories because we'll be back soon with episode 51. And in the next episode, we'll bring you creepypasta horror stories. Yes, an English episode this time. Stay tuned and keep watching the horror episodes of Dynamic Dark. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new horror episode. New fears, new darkness, and new secrets. Join the Dynamic Dark family with 3 brand new terrifying stories.